All right. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that. I make sure we had fresh coffee. We are not going to attempt to do this without coffee. Not today, anyway. All right. So, not a major moving day today. We had some big moves yesterday, and then again, unemployment claims and durable good orders today. Not the biggest. I think tomorrow with Jackson Hole. Obviously, when Powell's speaking at 10 o'clock, that's what everybody's looking at right now, right? Everybody's staring at that, talking about it. What are they going to do? Are they going to raise, not raise? How close are we to being done? Um, Again, it's the calm before the storm is what we expect. Now, the day to day pretty important. The unemployment claims, nobody cares. 10,000 difference or 9,000 different than what the expectation was. Not really a big deal. Looks better than expected. Again, not market mover whatsoever. Durable good orders, confusing for a lot of people. Now, this is how you dissect this one. Looking at the overall durable good orders, it was expected to be down pretty big. You know, it was supposed to be minus 4.1, came in at minus 5.2. Does anybody really have any idea what that means? Not really. The core number, okay? And again, we've always talked about core versus general. Core tends to be what the big guys are looking at, right? Core, it was expected to be, zero point 0.2, lower but still positive. It ended up coming at 0.5. Maintain what it was, higher than expected. And you may say, okay, what's the difference here, right? Because obviously energy is not out. Core here basically removes transportation items, okay? Transportation items. So that's where the difference is. It's not food and energy, it's transportation items that they are taking out of this now, okay? So take it for what it's worth. Kind of split. People are looking at it like, I don't know. And again, if they're looking at, and hearing the word core on the other side, um, kind of leads people to kind of get it, right? Leads them to kind of say, maybe the core is really important. And that's kind of the side that it looks like we're focusing on. So with that, right? What else do we have today? We have Harker speaking. Harker is speaking. He's discussed the economic outlook in an interview conducted by CNBC. Market mover at lunchtime? Probably not. I mean, maybe a little bit of influence, right? Maybe a little bit, right? Is it going to be a monstrous move? I mean, I don't think so, right? Is he going to steal some thunder from Powell? Probably not, right? I mean, Harker obviously, can throw some weight around, right? But it's an interview at lunchtime, so not everybody's going to be looking at it. So there's that. And again, today is day one of Jackson Hole, but the speech is coming tomorrow. And then 7:30 p.m. tonight, we have core CPI on a yearly basis with Tokyo. It's going to change really what they're doing. Not so much, I don't think. So the 2.9 is there, but again, nothing earth-shatteringly like, ooh, that's going to change the world. So there's that. Tomorrow, obviously, tomorrow is the big day. We have business climate. We have Harker speaking in the morning, and again, Harker will be on Bloomberg then tomorrow, right? I love it. Harker's everywhere. It's like send Harker on the tour. And then at 9:40, Harker speaking with Yahoo. So we have CNBC, Bloomberg. Was it Bloomberg, right? Yeah, Bloomberg, and then Harker speaking at Yahoo. So yeah, everybody wants a piece of Harker. Now, you may say, why is there so much with Harker right now? Again, with our favorite Fed person, who I think just got fed up, for lack of a better word. I think Harker's becoming one of the prominent names. Again, typically, in the past, Harker has not been orange, but I feel like Harker's making a play. The other, the supposed other person that was getting a chance, we haven't heard her make a peep in months and months and months and months. It's pretty hard for her to take over as the main person. Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I just don't think there's any way. It just faded into obscurity, for lack of anything better. But then obviously Powell's going to be the big one at 10:05 tomorrow. So we'll be on before then, from now till then. I think it's going to be kind of slow up until that point, and then we'll see what Powell says. I mean, laying out kind of what the future is, what everybody else should do, right? Should we stay aggressive and really control inflation and make sure it doesn't get entrenched? I think that's a word we'll hear tomorrow, was probably entrenched. Obviously, Russia's going to come back into play the whole thing. Maybe some mention of China. Um, maybe, right? So, I think that's all possible, things that we could see. Now, as far as today, I mean, you can see 3, -20, 67. I mean, that's the biggest on the board. 53, and it's red in the last hour. 24, 10, 1, 17. 17 is not bad, right? 17 is not horrible. I'd say 17 is probably percentage wise probably the biggest mover out there, right? But anything spectacular, we look at this, be like, yeah, no, not really. Actually, doesn't. Do it. No, it's not letting me do it right now because it wants to update. All right, so that's where we're at with this. Looking at the VIX. VIX, obviously, yesterday we talked about it deteriorating. Not much more news out there. Um, you know, where the VIX is right now. Again, should it do much today? Not really, right? It should be rather slow, right? Is there any big data points today that aren't already out that we know? I mean, I guess Harker, maybe. But I mean, should Harker derail the entire VIX today? No, I don't think so. VIX should continue to maintain low as far as the indices today. Again, unless Harker says something that is crazy surprising, which again I don't think so. Again, VIX should probably deteriorate today. I mean, we're back down to 15.62. We were, up at 18 a day, a couple days ago, pushing down. Now the dollar's been pretty volatile. We had to push up. We saw this yesterday morning. We crashed all the way back down again. Parabolic move all the way down. We found those buyers. It ended up needing to go a little bit lower. We kind of based right below this one, and it gave it enough to kind of punch through. And then the buyers down here at 103.30. So we thought 103 kind of 40-ish would be kind of where we found those buyers, and we saw the chop back and forth. It actually needed to go a little bit lower, and then once it confirmed, it gave us another kind of entry on this side, right? And then what he did, we rallied all the way back up again. And I still believe that people are looking at this and being like, man, could Powell really mess this up for us? Could Powell really say, that they're not done yet? That we're still not there yet. I mean, a lot of people are convinced that if we just let it wait, right? We just let it do its thing, right? At this point, everything's fixed. We don't need to raise it anymore. We're good, right? Just let it'll come back. But again, the problem is if we're not at target yet after all this, and yeah, it's working, but the question is, are we at risk for it to pick up again, right? Are there factors? And I think that's what they're really looking at. Because again, they said they would have to take unemployment to 4.6. We're not even close, right? Buyers have been doing pretty well. They're still spending money. So we haven't put ourselves into the recession that we thought, right? So overall, is there risk in this one? Yeah, I think there is. And again, that's why we're seeing the dollar, peak pretty high. Now, with that said, poking ourselves all the way up here, could we see the opposite? All this dollar strength ahead of time, could we see a big crash tomorrow? Sure, absolutely. Powell could, again, he tends to play one side and then the other, and then the other side and the other side. He can make some comments, but talking about how, they don't want to get, what they believe the solution is in. I mean, remember, it's kind of a pat on the back too, right? Yep, we said that this is what it was going to take, and this is what it's taken. I don't think that they change the path and start cutting interest rates before the end of the year. I don't think that's till next year. But again, if he comes up with a wait and see attitude, would it work? Sure. Will it entrench inflation more? Yeah, I think it will. But overall, again, I think enough people right now are looking at the effects of the interest rates as high as they are. Again, we saw mortgages over 7. It's making people kind of question new mortgages. Car payments 14% out to 70 months. I mean, the car industry has just absolutely exploded, right? They got their chips back again, but I think they said like the average car now is like, I forget, like the average new car sale or whatever is like, I forget, like it was like 48,000 or 56,000 or something like that. And they're just, it's getting to the point where it's getting crazy. So yeah, indices overall green except Russell. And again, Russell will tend to be the outlier on this one. Again, massive dollar strength coming in, and maybe the unemployment numbers and seeing that core numbers, maybe like, oh, we're not crushing the core numbers minus transportation. Oh, there's one sector that's bad. Okay, we're going to pretend that one doesn't exist. Seeing Russell, to the downside pretty decently, right? And it looks like YM is about to kind of tick in. Yeah, there you go. Russell, ticks in as well. Apple and Tesla, both in the red, right? About 0.5% and then 1.5%, Again, some of that maybe some transportation there as well. Now, dollar's up, and we're seeing commodities down big. Oil down to 77.65. Gotta love oil down. It's down 1.5% today. And looking at oil being down this far, Here's the thing with oil coming down. What's the real reason? I mean, we were actually, down. We were down like 6 million barrels or something like that yesterday, with oil inventory. You may say, what's driving this one? Um, Again, I think it's going back to China. You know, Again, China, the European numbers weren't great. You know, um, Seeing all this kind of negative feelings, and again, we'll get a confidence number tomorrow. Kind of comes back down to maybe the demand's not as high. Maybe we won't be able to avert a recession. But if the demand is there, and overall, I think this is great. I think it's I think coming down is you know one way that will help, right? That will help kind of avert um, kind of that recessionary feeling. But yeah, so right now down big. Natural gas also down at 245, and you know we mentioned it. The weather thing is not going to work. It's 74 degrees outside right now. People aren't worried about getting natural gas right now for cooling or heating or anything like that. You're like, yep, we're just turning everything off. So that's awesome. Gold down just a smidge down at 1914 and a half. With a dollar pulling back right now, we may see that one try to roll positive just a little bit. Silver's down 0.5%, right? We're down at 24.17. Um, Again, it's not, nothing major. It's down a little bit. I think silver is way too high right now. I think silver we're probably, I think it's set up for more of a short right now, but I feel that people are still looking for any reason in the world to be like, yep, inflation's coming back. Yep. And that's where silver is kind of hanging right now. Now, looking at the Aussie dollar, you can see yesterday we rallied up. We kind of hit that level of basing late on Tuesday, pulled all the way back down again at 8:30, 9 o'clock. That was that reversal level. And again, parabolic move up, trying to find a top in there, and ended up slicing through. And it did find the top at late last night, like 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock out there. We finally found it. And then the European market opened over here, right here. And we've continued to push this one down. Um, so, it's pushing. We talked about it coming back down. Right now, I think again, 64.10 is really kind of where we want to look. It's been here before. It's not fresh. Confirmation. One, two, three. This is hit number four. Again, buyers are down there. But in 24 hours, this one's moved the total of 8 pips, and it's green in the last hour. So again, big up yesterday. Kind of a big grind all the way back down. Again, we're coming back down and kind of stabilizing ourselves. Um, I like to see if this one would be able to push to an extreme, right? Let's remove some of these. Get these off just so you guys can get a clearer picture of this one. We'll pull this one off now. Let's pull these out. That one is done. It had its hits in there. You can see it kind of came up and hit this level here, right? You can see right here. There's kind of a confirmation touch in there. It's not the cleanest confirmation. It's right there using the entire red candle at the top. Again, was it confirmed? Was it around the 23.6? Absolutely. So again, this is one of those ones I bet you Ryan took this trade. We've been working on really him trying to find confirmed zones. This is a Ryan zone. Hopefully Ryan was able to grab this one. It's pulled back pretty nicely. I mean, it was an overnight thing, 55 pips. So it's kind of a big move. But the question is, do we buy it down here? It's been here 3 times. It's really, really hard to do that one. I think the next level we're really looking for is over here. And we know we have again, Powell speaking. Now, where we are in the middle, we have sellers up top, we have buyers down below. Again, a level that we've hit multiple times before. So is it the best level? It's not. Question is, can we go to one of the two extremes before that news comes out? Now, again, I don't have Powell's speech. I don't know what Powell's going to say. Are there people out there that do have it? Sure, absolutely. Right. Some people know, right? He had to write the speech, and he doesn't do it off the cuff. He had people edit it, and you know their people may have double checked it for them, and you know it's not like they have AI do it, right? We're not at that stage yet. Nor do I think Powell is a kind of an AI type guy, but overall, somebody knows the information. So the question is, where do we go from here? This level, could we have maybe a 1030 reversal today? We could, maybe, right? Seeing a little dollar weakness roll back in. But I think what happens from now till, again, I don't want to say D-Day because it's not the, I don't think any of these going to say is the end of the world. It's not one of those kind of things, right? What he's going to say tomorrow is big deal, but it's not the end of the world, right? No matter what he says, whether it's going to be, we're going to raise one more time, we're going to raise 10 more times, right? The world will still survive after Powell speaks. So, he's not killing the markets. So I'd like to see us push up or push down, and I think if we can get either here or here, I think those are both two decent trades tomorrow, right? In preparation for that one. Now, what is it going to take? Can we make it that far? I mean, for it to rally up, it's got to go 55 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 67. So yeah, we're within range there, and vice versa. To the downside is 58. Again, within that 67 range. So we are within the range of where we need to be. Um, is there a great setup for it today? Unfortunately, not really. Fortunately, not really. There was the overnight. The overnight was the best kind of setup on this one right now. Where we are right now, if you do anything right now, I think you're forcing it. I just don't think there's a good enough level anywhere in here. This is, like I said, this would be the fourth hit. We typically say no, no, on fourth hits, and we're sitting right around a 50% kind of no man's land in the middle. I think looking for these two areas. So, potentially here, and on the flip side, man, it keeps doing that. I don't know why it's doing that now. It's probably because they added all this extra junk in here that we don't actually need. What's this one? Oh, hide all drawings. Okay. I think these are the two levels right now. And again, kind of going sideways. Look for this one for a news release tomorrow. Also, again, okay. So, also, again, we got the big pullback. You can see the 61.8 yesterday morning. We were talking about it. There wasn't really a zone there. It kind of put a new bottom in, established it, cleared it, came back down, grabbed it, and went just as far, and then kind of rallied back up. And we assumed that we'd get that rally up. We're trying to figure out where it's going to stop. We mentioned that 93.55. I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It wasn't going to hold. We knew we had all this yesterday, but not really a great zone off the top side. Thankfully, we did break it, so we can kind of clear. Excuse me. We can kind of clear it off now. Unfortunately, we can't really move this. I mean, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna do an area this big? Right? Nah, nah. I mean, we could do it to kind of the tops of here, right? Where these last bit of confirmations came in, and that's exactly what it used, right? We can run this up right now, and did it do anything to the 23.6? Nah, it sliced right through. It didn't even exist. It kind of came down, found the buyers, popped up, and went a little bit lower, and now it's kind of stabilizing itself right here. So really, again, with the Aussie yen, right now you can see a little bit of a drama at 50. I think the 61.8 level, kind of from here up, is kind of the best area on here. But we got so much room to. Oh God, we have so much room to. I wonder if the mouse button is gone. We have so much room to run from there down. We're talking about 60 pips. It's not a full ATR, but really what's going to drive this from now till tomorrow. I don't think much, right? I don't think anything. Sorry, I'm trying to get there's like a piece of sand or something on the mouse pad that I'm trying to find and get off. I don't think anything that Harker says today is going to make this one go crazy. Could we get some, help from the yen? Could the yen take this and kind of move this around potentially, right? But it's just not. Sorry, it's moving all over the place because I'm just trying to get everything off the bottom. It's like the worst feeling. Like when you take your mouse, you bring it across, and you're like, wait a second, what is that? It's like one grain of sand, right? There we go. I think I got it. Where we are right now, are we trending? No, if anything, we're consolidating back in again. I do like this more to the downside. I mean, in looking at this, look, there's been a lot of tests right off this area here. It's kind of a bigger area. There are some backstops a little bit to the downside. But as you can see, I mean, we've really had this, and it's kind of there. But the power seems to be the downside. So we have to break through a lot to go back up top. Do we look for sells up at 94.15? It's been there before. It hasn't confirmed much. Maybe we raise that up just a little tiny bit and take it just off the top there. I mean, it's only about 10 pips. So, again, 10 pips on the Aussie yen. Not the worst trade, right? Not the worst thing out there. So, it could be, right? I mean, it could be a decent level. I mean, obviously not the first time it's been there. So we'll see. We got to get through this chop right now. If anything, if you see this drop through, I mean, they're giving it's a bit of a racetrack with a piece here. This may be one of those ones where it comes through, it hits this level right here, and then pulls back up before we push the initial push down to there. Okay. So there are the pieces in there that we need. Again, if you want to set an alert for this one, this is not one of those ones that every 30 minutes you should come back and check it. Unless something, unless there's some headline news, right? Australia ships were attacked or something like that. Or something with China, with the Japanese move. And again, those would be geopolitical events, which we don't want to trade anyway. I just don't think there's enough until this one moves past that 93.63. You can set an alert, let yourself know when it comes past, and then come back and look at it. Don't waste time on looking at this one every 30 minutes. Euro dollar. So euro dollar. Yesterday we were talking about this level to 50. We liked it. It came up to there and then hit around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and it just died. It just flatlined at this 108, right? We were looking at it. We're like, yeah, it's a decent pullback. Look, it's right at the 50. That's great. And it hit it and kind of pulled back again and then just started basing, right? Peaked out the top, peaked down below, peaked out the top, peaked down below, and then kind of pulled back. And then eventually, and kind of very similar to what we just saw over here, where we're talking about it comes through, grabs that lower level and pulls back again, is exactly what this one did. See this level down here? It did the same exact thing. It was just basing, right? And then it did do a push to here and kind of come back again. But if you look to the left, right, it's this level. It's that. It's this level right here. It came down, grabbed this level, and came back up again. And if you didn't catch it there, you could have caught it there. So we were calling for a pullback again. Very, very big move. It was a very, very tricky top on this one. This is one of those ones that, again, it was in the right spot. And it just needed just a little bit more, right? Needed a little bit more off the top side. Now, had you done it here, you can see even if you use the top here, it just kept going. It would have been very, very hard to grab. You had to catch it on the way out. And again, it used the basing level right here to kind of go farther south. So a tricky play. This may have been one yesterday that you got stopped out with. Again, we were calling for it. We were like, hey, listen, look for the retracement back again. Maybe you use this as your level here and said, okay, when we break through the bottom, we're going to use it. And then when we broke here, this is where the actual trade came in. Here, let's do it this way. If you were going to say, hey, listen, there's our form base. Let's see. Where's it going to come in at? And you can see no entry. And then all of a sudden, boom, you got the entry there and then push. So again, we were calling for the pullback. A little bit tricky of an entry. Taking that one just blindly probably would have got you stopped out because it did go higher here, did go higher here. Eventually, when it finally broke through, it was a nice little runner all the way to the downside. Again, it was a 42 pips, so a double ATR, a double 4-hour ATR. And now we're just retracing back again. Now, ideally, if we just see like things like this, if we just see this skyrocket through and we're able to break through this level of basing here, right? There is obviously a level of basing sitting right here at the 61.8. I think that's probably the next short. But I'm wondering right now, that's going to take about another 45 pips. If we can't just skyrocket up to that thing, could this be an area? If we move from kind of here over to here, right, when Powell's speaking, could this be an area where we're looking to get short? Can we time Powell with a drop base drop at a 61.8, which is typically going to be stronger than a 50? Could. But right now with the pulling back again, do we have much interest in it? Not really. I mean, maybe it pulls back up when we go back up to the 50 in that area again. Maybe we try to snipe something today on the way down. Maybe we see that the pre-movement's going to be dollar strength and Powell's going to give us nothing but weakness tomorrow. It's not a bad move, right? Not a bad move. But right now, from where we were yesterday, sitting, we're pretty much dead on at this point. Yeah. 6 pips. All right. Right now, I think if you want to get aggressive, go here. If not, 108.28 to 61.8. I like this one. If we can get it to where it's timed at all three, then great, sure. But right now, again, we called for a pullback. We got the pullback. Difficult entry. And these are those frustrating ones. Again, everybody gets frustrated with these. You're like, oh, I wanted it to go short. I was up for profit a little bit, and then bam, it stopped me out, and then went exactly where I wanted it to go to. Yeah, those suck. They happen. I mean, there's no way to candy coat it. It happens. Again, it was finding the perfect entry for that one is really kind of what made that one difficult, right? If you caught the perfect entry, you look like a genius. If you didn't, it's just frustration, right? It's frustration. That happens, right? You're not going to catch all of them, right? This is not Pokemon, right? You're not going to catch them all. Euro pound. So Euro pound, we're looking for a pullback, and we got it. It did. It pulled back down again in the kind of baseline, which is actually fine. I'm good with all the basing in here and the pop and the touch again. That's awesome because we're still looking for an overall pushback down to 85. But now, oh God, did it again. I wonder if it's something here. Again, this is tiny risk. This is only about 8 pips. But we do actually have a trade set up now to where we can say, okay, now we do have a level of base, right? And a 1 to 3 is sitting right about there, which is exactly where your profit should be taken. So let's remove this. Let's remove this. And overall, you can see, right, we had this here. We had 1, 2, 3, and it started the base. You're like, yep, it's going to break through. And it did. 4, and then 5 punch through. So we can remove this right now. Again, that was a nice little 8:30 reversal yesterday. The next level in this one up top is there's a little hiccup here, but I think the one at the 61.8 is better. Um, I think this right now is probably the target. It's 9 pips worth of risk. Um, I think you're looking for a short if we can come up to this level, right? 86.01, 86.01. So those are kind of the two trades, there and there. We'll put it there. Again, what we want to see on this one is we want to see where the base is before it pushes back down on its way to 85. So we'll see. There is actually some data tomorrow. Um, you can see the business climate. If this one tanks pretty bad, um, bad European data, this should roll back to the downside. So maybe we push up to 86.01. That would be great. If we can push up to 86.01 before that news comes out, you can see it sitting right here. That would not be bad. Again, if you want to mark it off just so it's more visual, then go ahead and do it. Right? How much does it need to move? Yeah, 28 pips. Right? 2 4-hour ATRs. It's not bad. We can do that. It's not the worst business. Right? Euro yen. So we were calling for a reversal yesterday. We said, hey, listen, if we could really push ourselves back up to 158.17, we're interested. As you can see, there was a kind of a brief front run of the 23. It came down and grabbed the base and then just punched higher, went above it and used it. You guys can see here, that kind of like a little Harry Potter look right there. Right now, I think this one still holds firm. Again, using the entire green candle is at the 50. If you don't want to take that much risk on this one, and again, the total risk on this one is about 22 pips. If you want to go just a little bit higher to give yourself, you can always shrink it just a little bit, right? And come up to 158.24. Now, again, parabolic move. Typically, this is a little sloppy. We're waiting for it. We didn't get a green, red, green until right here. And funny enough, we talk about these confirmations. There's your green, there's your red, there's your green, right there. Look how close that confirmation was, right? Look how close that confirmation was to pulling through it. So I think right now you do have to respect that there's a level sitting down there on the bottom side. And if we do start to go this short, if we do get a red, green, red, that would be your bottom side target right now. That would be the closest near level one. So we're there. Again, another 43 pips. It's about a 4-hour ATR, so it's not super close. Keep screaming in the room. Yeah, Melissa actually had to work from home today. She has like the cough now from the sickness. Sorry, she's in there. He's in there with her. Um, yeah, she was coughing all night. It was like this big like, and then this morning too, she's like, I'm working from home. She's like, I just sound horrible. I was like, oh, okay. So Kip's sitting there with her. Her mom is actually coughing too. So Kip brought the sickness to Canada. Actually, we think that Jin may have brought it. Actually, there was a kid that was sick in Jin's daycare. She finished up her last day of like summer camp, and we're in there. This kid's coughing and has a mask on. I'm like, why the hell is your kid here with a mask on, coughing all over everybody? Right? I'm like, if your kid's sick, just don't bring your kid in. Don't send your kid with a mask, right? And then of course Jin gets the same sickness, and takes it to Canada and gives it to everybody else. So, yeah, we learned a lot from COVID. Just saying. Um, but overall, 158.24, I think is where we're looking to take this one and look for a push back to the downside. Pound dollar. So again, look at pound dollar in this one. Pound dollar, I'll move it across. We talked about it yesterday. Now this one was slow. We finally did come up here and we snagged it at about 1 o'clock. And then it just went and went and went. We were sitting right here yesterday, and we got a surge up. We knew it was there. The 1618 was sitting there. It was in there. And again, bringing this one across, you can see it was a 16 for 16 letter direction. Eventually, it got stuck. It obviously it hit profit target at 6 a.m. If you missed it because of just a little tiny bit, it wouldn't have mattered. You got out at 7:30 this morning. So again, a trade from yesterday. Again, something that was wedged in. The alert went off. You guys can see the alert right there. This one triggered at 12:17, right? So noon yesterday is when this one triggered. Nice little runner out. You would have woke up this morning in the green, 50 pips in. So Um, where we are right now, again, we are finding the buyers at the bottom, so it is at a position where it should be turning. This would have been your overall profit target if you're looking to run it to the opposite extreme. It would have been sitting right in there. Obviously, it is out now. It's kind of hit and bounced back again. You should have had profit coming out or right here, right? That's not level. It's close, but it's not level. Now it's level, and you can see that's what we hit, right? So profit target wise, it absolutely crushed where it should have. Now we're in a stage where it's like, okay, do we see a reversal? We've had a lot of dollar strength come back in. Will we now see? Will we now see a reversal back again in time for news tomorrow? You know, and this is kind of this is a story that we're seeing in a lot of positions. A lot of dollar strength coming in today, and now we're starting to retrace back up again. Could we see a full reversal back again, up to 80 pips in one day to where news is tomorrow? Maybe. Maybe we push down and we're setting this up for a dollar weakness based trade. I mean, right now, everything out there is pure dollar strength today. The question is, has all the dollar strength been pushed in, and will tomorrow, when Powell speaks, will that be a major dollar weakness based trade? And that's kind of what it's looking like right now. Now, again, in 24 hours, a lot could happen, right? So much can happen. I mean, this one can move 100 pips in either direction, right? 100 pips is that, right? That's 100. That's 100 pips right there. So a lot could happen in either direction from now till then. So um, I think right now we leave these two numbers on the 127.20, the 127.52. I think both of those, if we have a huge surge up in price at either of these levels, I think both of those could be great selling opportunities. If we see a big surge post news, if we push ourselves up there, I think it's also there. Right. Um, So yeah, again, we just hit profit target. Always hard to place a trade, but from yesterday, if had you attended, there's a nice little 50 pip runner right there. Okay. Pound yen. All right, so pound yen. Yeah, this is one of those unfortunate ones. We had the alert set on there. We did get a surge up to 2 o'clock today, but we missed it by a little bit. We were looking for it, missed it by about 11 pips. This is where the lights kind of flickered. It is raining outside. I don't think there's any thunder. It is raining. That was weird. The lights definitely did flicker. Um, just hold on one sec. Just making sure you guys are still here. Yes. Okay. It does appear that you guys are still here. I was like, uh oh. Uh oh. Making sure the internet didn't go out, but it did not. Yeah. So it did turn. It did reverse. We were looking for it. And unfortunately, this is one of those beautiful trades. It was an easy setup, right? The drop base drop. Love it. Love it. It ended up missing by a little tiny bit, right? Just a bit outside. Right? So yeah, what are you gonna do? It pushed back down again. Right now, I would expect to see this to continue to push to the downside a bit more. I think right now, I think the trade was there. It was a European kind of base trade. Is kind of what I envisioned originally. It had pulled back. We'll leave it on because technically it has not been hit yet. Um, but I don't think it's as high quality as what it was. Right. I was really looking for that initial kind of touch and push off of it. Um, you could have played this one a little bit more aggressive, and when the top did come in, you could have said, "Okay, we are looking for shorts. Let's see if we can get any type of a confirmation." And it did. It pushed down, it came back and grabbed it, and then pushed. So there was the ability to get into this one. But again, trying to play that reversal back again to that 184.92, I feel like it's probably gone at this point. We were looking for 72 pips. From the peak, it's at 70 right now. So yeah, I feel like the ship has sailed on this one. It's unfortunate because I really did like this setup a lot. It hit here. It just didn't get up enough here. So, wah, wah, wah. I mean, it happens. It happens. Um, yeah. All right. So Right now, I think this probably pushes back down again. Look for it to kind of bounce off this lower level right here. It's probably what we're looking for. And again, that was an old target. We've hit it before. If we can get kind of a new bottom put in there, then I think it's decent. But right now, I'm just looking for it to continue to deteriorate back down to that, 183.60th level. Okay. Um, Unfortunately, no other great opportunity there. Dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, we were looking for pushes back, and we knew where news was coming in. You could see it definitely pushed its way back, and then gave us some craziness up and down. Now, dollar CAD is getting to be like one of those annoying positions, right? It is getting so whippy, right? With all of its news. And again, right now, this is partially also affected because of everything that oil is doing. Oil is not making this one easy, right? Because oil's up, down, it goes left, it goes right, it goes sideways, it's all over the place. Um, and the question is, is that demand there? I mean, they have their own issues, right? They have their own issues, they have their own data, they have their own interest rates being risen, unemployment, they have all those things, but then they have the oil contingent in there as well. And we knew today, and again, what is this? Oh, here's the options piece. We knew today that they did have news, right? Yeah, we knew we had all this news at 8:30 today with unemployment claims, and that's kind of what set us off, right? So let's remove this one, and then what did it do? Big spike up, and then a push back down again. So right now, funny it did it right here. Um, we're still looking for a push down, and you can see about midnight, midnight 1 o'clock this morning, it did roll off that level wake we were looking for. Question is, what do we do now? Will we roll back down again in a dollar weakness based position, or are we going to continue the talk today of dollar strength? And again, the dollar strength thing has just been so strong, right? Every single pair. And again, is it preparation for a big weakness call tomorrow? I mean, that's kind of how it looks, and it kind of feels like that too right now. So right now, we're kind of sitting in the middle of two ranges. I don't really love this for a top either. As far as a long goes, again, another hit down, 1, 2, 3. This is technically the fourth hit of this level of basing down here at 135. Now, 135 will be a little bit more resilient than other figures. Again, it has a 5 in it and a bunch of zeros. So, it is overall a decent number to be bouncing off of. It's just not going to hold forever. Now, there'll be more people than a normal level. Like if that was like 137, 640 or something, it's going to hold better than a level in the middle of nowhere that doesn't have the fives and the zeros in it. But overall, it's been a bottom for quite a while. I'd really like to see this go down. I would love to get long the dollar CAD tomorrow before Powell speaks. But at this point, if we continue to rally up again, it's almost looking the opposite. It almost looks like we want to get this one short. So, um, yeah, it's you know, yeah. I wish this one had a better setup. For some reason, I really would like to trade the dollar CAD. I just, there's just nothing that I like, right? There's nothing there that looks great. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss. So yesterday we had that big push down. It came back up, grabbed the upper level, pushed all the way back down again, and then 2 o'clock this morning, dollar strength. And then the news came out, and it was dollar weakness, right? And we were kind of looking for that, but again, very very whippy on this one. Um, Again, right now we're starting to see this. Now I am actually looking. We have an alert a little bit higher. I think that alert's still active. No, it is not. Let's re-enable that alert. Okay, so that was a tested Harry Potter. Let's put that there. Uh, this one. We were like, yeah, maybe if it goes long above the top side, right? And it did. It went long above the top side, and it set up that short. I don't need this one now. Let's pull these off. So they're all good. So what's next on this one? Hmm. 6:30. 50, 50. So we are standing in between that range right there. I think the way that this looks right now, it looks like it. I mean, it's rolling off of a sell area, obviously. It will slow a little bit, but I'm curious if we can chunk through both these areas. Again, this is kind of where our really confirmed buyers and sellers are. Downside, I'm not as enthusiastic about the downside versus the upside, and that's kind of what we just went off of. It obviously at this point is pushed about 30 pips off there. Um, hmm, we kind of need this one to push up or down, right? The daily ATR up. Daily ATR up. Hmm. Yeah, I think this one. Hmm. No setup. I'm not interested in taking a long after either of these two areas. There may be some here. There's probably somebody taking it. Yeah, there's probably somebody taking this one at a 50 or trying to get into that one. It's just not really enough range. I mean, what are you looking to do here? You know, take like a 7 pip, 6 pip range, trying to go higher back to play with that area. I mean, I guess you could if you really wanted to, taking a position size base position. But right now, I think we wait for this one for tomorrow. I just there's no more catalyst today. It should get really, really slow and grindy, something like this. No clear movement. I think there's better options out there right now. So, yeah, I'd like to see what this one does between the European Open and really kind of the U.S. Open, and that'll kind of set us up in that U.S. Open at 9:30, really 8:30 to 9. Looking to see what happens from then till now, or then now till then, and then kind of see what happens right before Pal speaks. Because people are like, "Oh, he said what?" Okay. Right now, there's just we're not in a setup level. So, dollar yen, dollar yen. Again, we were looking at this one. We knew it'd been here. It was confirmed. You can see it started. It did a one candle base in there. It went up and based and was like, nope. And we ended up going for that 146. Now, unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you, this is probably a stop out, right? It was confirmed. Again, is this the best of levels? No, no. We were really looking for some type of a decent kind of profit taking on this one. Once it went up and based in here, you're like, oh crap, yeah, yeah. And it ended up going higher, and it came up to the next level. I'm kind of surprised it didn't go up and really grab the 146. It made it up to 145.95.9. So 4 or 5 pips again. It was that buffer trying to front run that 146 call, and then again news just drove it straight down. I mean, again, this was really a new setup. Unfortunately, no real zone, and it was a really sloppy zone. You can see that there's the red candle, there's the bottom of the red right there. That's kind of what the zone looked like with the confirmation. I mean, it hit it, sure, but that's a quite a large zone, right? You're talking about 25 pips on that one. So, I understand why it turned where it is. At this point, I want this one to crank all the way back down again. I want it to come back down to the 145 level. So again, maybe you were looking for this one again. Not the greatest zone. It spent what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours there. Not kind of the explosive nature that we want. And again, they were all overnight hours, right? But not necessarily the explosiveness we wanted. So we can pull those all the way down. And you can see it's right. It faltered right at the 61. I'm actually going to remove this. Let's run it the other direction. See what we will have to the downside if we get some help. Whoops. You can see the 23 base got just hammered. Um, there's an okay zone at the 50. What's a 71 pips? All right. Let's say I put a profit target right here. If you're getting short, I would say there. Those would be my two profit targets to the downside. Right. If you're looking for targets off that reversal, if you caught this reversal, awesome. Great job. Great job. It was basically a news based trade. Got front run a little bit by that 146 with the level of basing right here. Again, you're hitting a little hiccup now, but I would say get yourself out at 145.30 and then 145.04. Right. Again, that's a 4 pips buffer with people playing with the 145. It's all right. It's all right. So, clean up for tomorrow. Really, this is burying itself right in the middle. Fresh U.S. data support the dollar. 6 minutes ago. I love their articles. So yeah, it's there. Let's see, what is TLT doing? TLT also rallying up. So yeah, supporting the dollar. Bonds are going higher. All right, let's see what we got in crude. Wow. So crude like that data. That 9:30 open today. Again, don't tell us the U.S. People from the U.S. don't like our oil. Now, funny enough, it came back down at pretty much almost the same spot where the buyer stepped in before. Kind of front run from that level, and then drove us right back up again. So, yesterday, again from that 10:30, you can see that there was a short in that one. It ended up peaking a little bit higher, 1 o'clock. It chopped back and forth, and then finally collapsed back down and went even deeper. So this guy's out. Let me take that one off. Yeah, nothing's really changed on this one. See, anybody that tried to trade that 23, kind of a big mistake from them. But we're sitting right at that 50% mark. So again, if we can get back up to 80.13, I think it's a decent short. I don't know if we can run all the way up there today. But when we started, we were at 77.50. We're like, yeah, this is awesome. And now we're back at 79. So yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Now obviously sellers, but again, 1, 2, 3-ish, 4-ish. I think if anything, we run back up. I think there's probably potential sellers coming in here. They'll look at this and say, hey, listen, there's a basing level at the 50. Again, great level. No, it's been a lot of time there, but I think potentially you could see something going on right there. You know, 77.60 or 79.66. I kind of like the tested level at the 61 a little bit better, but I feel like this one, people, after a big surge up like this, people are going to look to take profit. And I feel like that's what they turn and roll this one to the downside. So, yeah, not happy that oil's back up. But again, US, we like our oil. Was there any headlines? We should keep stance restrictive for a while. Again, that's everything. That comment from Harker is everything that the Fed has said for the last 6 months, right? Yeah, that is everything that you know. That is everything that the Fed has said, right? I think that's absolutely right. So again, nothing. Let's see. Here we go. This is what I was waiting for. The Saudi surprise adds momentum to the de-dollarization debate. Um, but also Saudi Arabia and Argentina. Hmm. So wait, hold on. UAE, Egypt, and Bangladesh would be invited to join, given they were already part of the BRICS New Development Bank. In the end, it is not only UAE and Egypt invited to join, but also Saudi Arabia, Iran, Argentina, and Ethiopia. Biggest surprise is Saudi Arabia. So we remove the country. Okay, got it. So yeah, I knew we would get some BRICS headlines, right? And again, a whole bunch of small nations equal a big nation. So it's funny seeing, you know, some of our biggest fans, right? UAE. So yeah. All right. So again, that may be part of the reason why this is also kind of popping a little bit right now as well. Now, natural gas. again, deteriorating down. You can see, look at the basing here. Look at this. It came down and started the base. It's putting all these sellers in. It pulled down and hit that 247 that we were talking about, pulled back up, grabbed that 247 and used that to punch lower. But you can see, does it really know where it's going? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Sideways movement, no action in that one, but we are below the 250. So we are in an awesome space. All right, maybe I didn't get that one the first time. I don't see that one. It better not be in my coffee. I've caught like, this is like the forever saga versus fruit flies. So yeah. So again, continue to deteriorate down again. Again, it's not getting any help right now. Natural gas drops to a 2-month low early ahead of fresh inventory data. I don't think the inventory data, unless it's a monumental surprise, I don't think it's going to change much today. Like I said, we are rolling into the beginning of fall time frame. And again, this is where people are not using air conditioning or heating; they're turning everything off. Again, is this a justified move? Absolutely. I think it's long overdue. I think it continues to deteriorate to the downside. Is it a market mission getting into? Not so much. I'm going to let this one kind of continue to go lower. I think until we start hearing of some type of winter or Arctic blast or something like that, I think this one has a very, very difficult time. Unless there's something geopolitical involved with this one, um, I think we should be back to normal in this. Right? We should be back to normal. Gold. So gold, we were looking for a pullback. We ended up getting a little bit of a pullback, and then in the overnight, it kind of popped higher. It's sitting at the same level of basing. We're looking ultimately for 1903.50 in this one. Now, it is surging a little bit right now as the dollar is weakening, as profit taking is coming in. We are posed pretty high. Again, Harker's comments today basically said we're going to keep these rates restricted for a while, right? Again, meaning inflation is not where it is, but it's not necessarily a pro-inflationary environment. They're going to keep it restrictive for a while, meaning it should continue to crush inflation across the board. Kind of more of an area where like, right? But right now with gold holding high, the question is, are they waiting for Powell to kind of give the check mark to this one for the short? So we should see this one continue to push back to the downside. I think it's in a decent spot where it is right now, but again, look for more of a concerted push to the downside. All right. Silver. Okay, silver also holding firm, and again, we had this drawn. We can move it just a little bit up. We were really looking for sells at 24.45. Really look at all the basing in here. We had the confirmation. That's what we hit right now. Again, 24 will be an artificial base. Not really a Harry Potter trade set up on this one by the way that it based through. With this kind of whips all back and forth. People weren't sure how to take that durable goods number. It literally whipped back and forth and almost open and close exactly at the same spot. Anything I would say again, it looks very similar to gold. We're kind of running out of steam at the top of this thing, and we're poised very, very high. You can see it all the way up in the curve. And again, these are lined up more for, yeah, look right there. Gold eases into tight range as traders brace for Jackson Hole. Yeah, so I think everybody right now is really looking at Powell, be like, okay, what are we doing? And again, if Powell said, I'm really trying to, again, what Harker just said, I believe is what Powell is going to say. I'm just wondering if the market's hinged on if Powell says he's going to raise interest rates anymore, if they are good. Like, are we done? Because again, there's two phases to this. One, are we done raising interest rates? Is it coming down fast enough? Which it's not, because it raised last month, right? And two, are we at the stage where we're going to start cutting interest rates yet? Right? And I definitely think the answer to that one is no. So are we, are we going to continue? Is there going to be any more raises ready to go because we're not moving fast enough? And two, when are we going to start cutting? Right? I think are the two questions everybody wants to know. I don't know. Fed has said end of 2024. I think if we do one more 0.25 raise and then hold it till July of next year, I think would be an aggressive plan, not the most approved of plan, because everybody's pissed now, like, oh, these rates are way too high. Well, yeah, but so was inflation. Everybody was pissed when gas was $7 a gallon, and now that it's not, you're pissed. I love when politicians get involved in the economics discussion. So yeah, I think they're both shorts. Again, if I kind of want them to hold high, but I'm afraid they're going to kind of go to the downside a little bit earlier. I have no idea who that is. Not interested. Go to voicemail. So yeah. Let's check out the indices today. VIX again spiking a little bit right now. Looks like everything is getting in the red. Is dollar moving again? Look, funny. Dollar pulled back. Everything is kind of deep in the red now, minus obviously YM. Before it was just Russell and YM was fighting it, and now YM is there, and then NQ and ES are both getting smoked. Um, let's drop it down, and again, maybe Harker's comments are really affecting people. Look at this. There's the dollar. Dollar pulled back right in time. Look at this, straight down. Again, this is not delayed. Straight down, finding those buyers trying to push higher. So you would think, oh, this is relief, right? This is relief. But this is what happens with the ES. So 9:15. Yeah, unfortunately, we're in an area there's nothing there. It did kind of pull down and then pull back again to that base at 9:45. So there may have been a position that you were able to get into, saying, "Hey, listen, if we hit, we're gonna Harry Potter the sucker. We're broken down. We have a base right here. Look, we're running, 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 running. If we break, it did push down, but it did come back in one little candle. So not really a Harry Potter based trade for us. If you did it on a 5 minute, then yes, it dropped at base, that pulled back, it hit it, and it dropped. So on a 5 minute, you could have said, yeah, I was trying to take advantage of that Harry Potter. On the 15 minute, though, not necessarily the clearest, but again, sometimes you got to move it. Overall, it looks like they were starting this one early. Again, this is a strong dollar based move. Like Powell's really going to kind of jack us up tomorrow. Or not, I'm sorry, not jack us up, but like do the opposite. Give us that weak dollar. If we pull and we get slammed today, and then Powell makes the comments about it, right? Yeah, we're gonna go. That's it. We're not gonna raise interest rates anymore. It's working. It may take some time, and we may have some entrenched inflation that will slowly come back down. I feel like if the market hears him say we're done raising interest rates, I feel like it's going to be a big day, and that's kind of what it's looking like. If we get slammed today, we'll see though. Here's the thing: we're right now it's 10:30. They're in an area right here where there's basing. Let's take this one, kind of this most recent kind of low to high. What do we got here? Yeah, so it looks like we do have a little bit more room to run. There's a hiccup here. Looks like the 61.8 could be a problem area right there. Again, it was a confirmed level. So it looks like 44.04 could be a big level. Maybe an end of the day rally. If we slam into it, maybe we get a little bit of an end of the day rally on this one in preparation for tomorrow. But right now, there's one little hiccup and not a whole lot stopping this one to the downside. So overall, it's not horrible. It's not horrible. Yeah. So as far as opening print goes, you could have traded as a Harry Potter, but that's about it. No confirmed levels in the overnight. If anything, we're looking for the racetrack trade to the downside. NQ, kind of the same thing. Just no pullback. You can see, look at all the basing. Hold, 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 hold. Right? There's all your holding. Right? Hold, 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 hold. And then, again, nice little racetrack. Wow, this one has room to run even more. Looks 15,000. So it looks like 15,000 is where we're going to see those buyers step in somewhere. Probably, yeah. It's right. It would be right here, where the line is. So about 15,000. Could be an end of the day rally off 15,000. Is this justified? Again, the 9:30 was straight down, right? A little pause and then continued push. Is anything that Harker said, right? Is anything that Harker said 30 minutes ago? We should keep it. It's not really. Right? Not really. And again, these are two green numbers, right? These are great, right? Great for the dollar, and this one's bad for the dollar, the durable goods overall. So you're kind of like, how do we take that, right? So not really an opening print there. Remember we said YM was like, it's holding firm, right? It's holding firm. Yeah. Look at it holding, and literally it was like boom and boom. So yeah. So if you ever want to see a picture of trapping a lot of people and having a lot of people lose money really, really fast, this is it right here, right? Because people are looking at this one and there's so many traps in this one, right? Right? Let's see. Thursday. Yeah. Here's the Globex high. So there's a trap sitting right there, right? Oh, it didn't spike below, so it was almost a bear trap. It was almost a bear trap. But yeah, look at that. So yeah, as we break the Globex high, people go long this trade, and then by the time they can get in, most of the time it's a very, very quick spike up and down. They miss it. Some people probably scalped it. We're pulling back down to where we started today, right? Where we started today. We could remove this though, and we could run in the other direction, but this spike is not going to really tell us a whole lot, right? You can see it sliced up. Poor anybody that traded the 23.6, just boom, and actually it barely paused at the 50 and it's coming down. Now there is buyers here. So again, we are at a level where could we see some reversal happening here, some profit taking? We could. I mean, if we are going to see a 1030 reversal, there is something for this one. Do you want to play with this market right now? I don't know if you want to play with this one. Go in currencies a little bit safer right now, a little bit more consistent. But yeah, look at this. Monsters move up and down. Again, was it a level? Could you have gone long from this saying, hey, there's a level basing right here. We found buyers. Sure. Dangerous because it spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 candles all at the same spot. So a little bit dangerous. And then Russell, again, look at the same spike. There was a Harry Potter trade in this one. That's why I have this drawn on there. It looks like it got out before it got stopped out at the 930 candle. And actually, the 930 did come up and grab it as well. So this was one of those ones I saw, I had this one drawn and I was like, oh, look at all the base, look at all the base, look at all the base. And it came back. And then it's kind of like, oh, here you go. Right. Looking for a more defined base. I said, okay, well, let's use this base right here. Whoops, not that one. I wanted the yellow one. Right. I said, okay, we're going to take this base right here using the top of this one. And if it comes back, then I'm interested. And it did. It came back down. I grabbed it and then ended up doing it at 930. So nice little Harry Potter right before at the open today. Kind of an easy one. I'm sure some of you guys got that one. And you could have done it there, or you could have done it off of this level of basing. Oops, not that one. This. You could have done it off that level of basing right there and gotten in here. Right? I like this one better, though. The one right there. The confirmation there. So either one would have worked just fine. You were good either way. So yeah, that was the one Russell trade this morning that I was kind of like, oh, look how Russell's pulling back. Look, basing, drop. We're looking for this one to go. And again, Russell was the worst, and now it's not the worst. NQ was the worst. And, it's in second place, but we'll see if it finds some buyers. I mean, it found buyers here, right? Where it should have, right? So, yeah. So, multiple ways to play this one. I moved this one, unfortunately. It was not that big. It's that big. You can see it right there. All right. And again, that's 2.8. 3 is right there. There's 3.06, so you can see it went past. Or if you use the one up here, it's basically the same risk level. And it did. It came down, it grabbed it here, and then also was past. The 930 candle took them out in both ways. Doesn't matter which one you used. All right? Right there. All right, let's go and do the drawing. 1037 for today. All right, we got 6 people in. We got it today. All right. All right. I'll give you guys till 3 exactly. Always try to give you guys those 30 seconds in. Make sure there's no fruit flies in my tea. Ugh. All right. Let's see. 20 seconds to go. I'm not going to say any names because you know who gets angry. And you know who is not anybody's name because they could be multiple people. It could be multiple people. There's a double one. It's 2 of them connected together, and it just is doing circles. It loves the monitor. All right, there we go. Got it dead on. All right, winner's today's drawing is... Ooh, Briggs takes it with 2. Look at that. So Lady Luck finally left Marina. She got 2 in a row with her 1, and then Briggs got it today at 2. All right. Let's see. Where is Briggs? I think you're on page 2. Let's see. Right there. Give you your 25. There you go. Getting closer. Getting closer. All right. With that, I'm out of here for today. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Now, again, guys, remember, tomorrow morning, extremely important. What Powell says tomorrow is going to rock the markets one way or the other, up or down. People will be breaking apart this Saudi Arabia surprise today. I have zero surprise that Saudi Arabia is interested. They're already part of the back. They were the financial backing for the whole thing. Once they started selling dollars and doing oil transactions in the Chinese currency, yeah, they saw the writing on the wall. And then the U.S. tried to forcefully, stiff arm them. And they kind of played nice for a little bit, and this is where they're going. Again, I don't think they're wrong. Maybe that's an anti-American sentiment, but I don't think they're wrong. I think we should have never weaponized the dollar, and I think Saudi Arabia is, again, they love their money. They are not dumb. They love their money, and they've been playing the world forever. And yeah, so I'm not surprised, but it is what it is. So see everybody tomorrow morning. Really do some homework. There will be some trades in the overnight as well. But again, get ready for some wildness tomorrow morning. I think what Powell says, and people are going to analyze everything that he meant. Every breath he takes, they're going to analyze tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes at 10 o'clock. With that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you then. Take care.